So the other day you saw me make a video putting the winch into the truck. I'm really happy with it. Here's a small clip of that. So I've tested it a couple times, trying to figure out different things, trying to figure out how to make this work so when I'm at the customer's place I don't mess anything up. One of the things I noticed with that video clip is when it came up into the truck, the cable was on the front bumper guard that I got there. It was up underneath it. So if that was gone, then it would be rubbing up against the hood. So now I know that when the front wheels, well, more than half the deck, let's put it that way, is up on the tailgate, I can lower this down to this position and then pull it the rest of the way up. Works just fine. That way the cable is never at risk of touching the bottom of that hood and cracking the hood. So, you know, that was just, you know, a couple things I wanted to work out. I had planned on doing that anyways, but when I was making the video, I was trying to hold the camera and learn what was going on, and so I did it a couple more times. Worked out pretty good. I'll tell you, one regret I have is I didn't make this board just maybe 2 inches longer on each side. So when it comes down, it would land on this and hold it up like that. I put, well, originally I put some aluminum pieces here. I stacked them up 2 per side, but you can see they bent. I had them on the other side. So I put the 4 on this side, and then I put these on. That didn't last at all. Those fell right down. So I stacked this side up with 4. That side's a little bit beefier on that other side with the board. But what I'll end up doing is probably just getting a 2x2 and run it all the way across just to hold it up. No big deal. I just wish I'd thought of that a little bit more in my design, because I would have saved myself a little bit of, I don't know, frustration by just extending that out another inch or 2. You know, I might be able to find a piece of steel laying around here somewhere that I can put one on each side. But either way, this might work for a bit. So now I just got to get a customer. It's been raining ever since I did this. I mean, it started raining almost the instant I got finished with this, and hasn't stopped. It just now stopped. It's rained for, well, this is Monday, late Monday morning probably. I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock maybe. And so it started raining, I guess 48 hours straight it's rained. So we won't get any calls in the rain, never have. This guy here, he's always slow to pick up. So I've worked on that once before, and he's just slow to pick up. So Carolyn and I was talking about the winch, and Carolyn really likes the beast. She's the one that convinced me to keep it, and now that I got it, I really like it too. So now we're talking about the winch. She said, well, I asked her, do you think we could get one for the lawnmower? It's 2,000 pound winch up there. It's not a very big one. You know, and the thing is once I bought it, I realized maybe I should have bought the bigger one. There's a 3,000, the 4,000 was out of stock, and they're not that much more. So like for the 2,000, it was, I don't know, $59 or something. But for the 3,000, it was just a little bit more, like $65. I thought, well, maybe I should have gotten that one, but I don't know. Depends on what they got. Maybe I'll trade. You know, next time I go buy it, I'll get a 3,000, put it on the truck, and put the 2,000 over here. Especially if it all bolts up the same and I don't have to do any modifications. That would be the best thing to do. I know the wiring is different on the 3000, but regardless, I only put a 2000 on this, and so I've been trying to figure out how to hook this up, and I want to be careful with the hood. I'm trying to figure out, do I want to put it in the front or back? And I definitely want to put it in the front. I mean, that just seems like the most logical thing, but then I think about it, and there's a lot of problems with it being on the front. One of the problems is when you raise the hood, you got the hook to hit it. So I don't want that to happen. And there's not a lot of room, surface plate there to put it on. So, well, let's put it on the back. But there's even more problems, I think, on the back. I would like to have it on the back because I need more weight on the back. I like to be able to get more traction. The more weight you have on the back, the more traction you get. So I'd like to put it back here, but I don't even think there's really enough room. It would interfere with that, and any towing capabilities I would have probably would go away. So I've pretty much talked myself out of doing it. But the biggest inconvenience is, how many times do you need to tow yourself out of position backwards? So, but I mean, it won't be just for that. I'll be able to pull lawnmowers around. I mean, I use this to pull lawnmowers across all the time anyways, but I'll be able to yank them around pretty quick with this. Just, you know, hook it up and go. I don't know. I just see a lot of possibilities with this. The other thing is, if I want to lift the lawnmower up, if I figure out some way to lock this down so it doesn't lift up on me, I could run a pulley, and we got a pulley in the tree here. Now, before you get somebody says something, let's see. I realize that branch is too weak to pull on, but you know, there's a pulley there that I could use, and even if that pulley is froze up, I have more pulleys I could put in that frame, at least use the frame, and then just wrap that cable around the pulley. I can lift lawnmowers up in the air. And I mean, I know I've got this lift here, right here, but sometimes it doesn't get high enough. Let's see if I can find one of these pulleys I'm talking about. I just saved 2 of them. Here they are. So that would work pretty. So that would work pretty good, I guess. And Carolyn said, well, you know, it's going to be, let's do it in the fall time. That way I can make a video of it, and when you know, things start to slow down, I'll still be able to upload a lawnmower video. And I mean, I've thought about using steel, but wood is so much easier to work with. I mean, I know I can weld things and that kind of stuff, but wood is just so much easier to work with. So I'll just build myself a wooden bumper is what I've decided to do. Kind of like what's on the John Deere in that video you saw, there's a metal bumper there. I'll just make myself a wooden bumper out of pressure treated 2x4s and 2x6, just like I did in the, I mean, it's not a bumper, but just like I used for that frame. And I can build a bumper out here. That'll prevent, you can see somebody in the past, I don't know if you can see that or not, really dinged it up running into stuff. So that would prevent that. And this is a solid frame here, the whole thing, which is pretty unusual for lawnmowers, but the garden tractors have the solid frame here. That way you can put attachments on it. Snow blowers, you can see there's a snow blower attachment and a plow attachment. So I'll put a bumper on that, and that will increase its, even if I ran into something with the winch. The winch is cheaper to replace than that hood, I'm sure. Trying to find a hood would be a nightmare. So I think that's what we're going to do. I know it's a long time away, and you know, half the people who are watching this video won't be around but in the fall, but that's all right. Oh, one of the things I don't like about this winch is the cord. The remote control thing is not waterproof. So I've tried to figure out different ways to make this thing waterproof. You know, wrap a bag around it. Some people wrap balloons around it. So just so you know, I'm not selling the truck. That was for selling lawnmowers. So I have to attach it and unattach it each time I want to use it, because it can't get wet. which isn't a big deal, I guess. But I'd rather just have it hooked up. I don't know, I might find a solution. I'm sure somebody's gonna tell me what to do to make it work and spend hundreds of dollars to make it work. I want a cheap solution, not something real expensive. I mean, I could build a box in the back of the truck and just throw it in the box. But on the lawnmower, it'll be a lot easier to keep it dried, believe it or not. Of course, it's under a tarp, but that's beside the point. I can put it underneath the hood here, even if I left the tarp off of it by accident. If I put the controller behind the battery here, it would stay totally dry all the time. So I'll leave it, you know, we'll be able to hook that up and leave the controller on it. That would be really convenient, because I wouldn't have to spend time hooking it up, disconnecting it, reconnecting it every time I wanted to use it. It's not too bad with the truck. It's a 10 millimeter, so I'll leave a 10 millimeter in the truck. It takes, you know, maybe 5 minutes to hook it up. Not a huge issue. So what I do is I take jumper cables from the battery. Both doors are open. So the jumper cable runs all the way back to about here. I fish it through the frame of the truck here. And then I can hook the controller up. I got on the controller 2 bolts that I've hooked up. So like that. And then all I've got to do is take this. Let's see if I have to put my glasses on. Do it one-handed here. And then that creates all the current I need. And that's worked pretty good. Pretty excited about trying this out on a customer. Let's see how fast I can get done, but I'm already certain it's already quicker than using the old method I was using with the come along and pulling it up. The come along didn't have enough length to it. So if the lawnmower wasn't running, well, I'll explain it. If the lawnmower's running, I can run the lawnmower up on the ramps and stop. So it's most of the way up the ramp by then. I take the come along, I would hook it up and just pull it up. But I would always have to lift the back end up because it would get hung up on the tailgate. I don't have that problem now that I'm able to lift this up, because it gives me enough clearance that it raises the nose of the lawnmower off the ground. But when the lawnmower isn't running, then I have to park the lawnmower on the ground like I did in that little clip I just showed you. And I would have to pull it up a ways with the come along, set the brake if the brakes work. That was the key. Set the brake if the brakes work. And then extend the come along back out and do it again to get it into the truck. Again, I'd still have to lift the back end up, but I won't have to do that anymore. So I'm really liking this, and I didn't hear too many complaints about it in the comment section. The trolls were more upset that I used my drill as a hammer. One troll said, "You're gonna thank me if you go out and buy a trailer." So that was troll, because a few days ago I said I wasn't gonna buy a trailer. And who's the narcissist, you or the guy telling you to put the trailer on? I think it's you, because you won't listen to anybody's advice. You're just, well, it's my money. If it was, I'm not giving anybody advice. I can do whatever I want. It's not a narcissism. Who am I a narcissist to if I'm telling myself this is what I want to do? But that's the thing about narcissists, is if you don't listen to them and you call them out on their behavior, it's not me that's the narcissist, it's you the narcissist, because you won't change your mind on anything. You got to do what I'm telling you. They don't know what the definition of narcissist is. Well, what it is narcissists like to manipulate and gaslight. So they're literally lying to you about the definition of narcissism. Anyway, got off subject. So I had several trolls tell me that I shouldn't use my drill. You wouldn't be using my drill like that. That's good. I wouldn't want to use a cheap piece of junk that would break as soon as I used it as a hammer. I thought that one was funny. Why would I want to use your cheap piece of junk? It'll break the first time I use it. As a hammer. Mine didn't break. I just kept using it as a hammer. So, and then I had, let's see, what else did I have from the troll comment? It was really heavy on that video for some reason. Oh, obviously I'm a liar. I'm a liar. Because in the video, I put, and I wasn't trying to hide anything. I just didn't want to waste your time. In the video, I put this board upside down. And I've watched the video several times, and I don't see how the troll saw it. And so, as soon as I realized it, I shut off the camera, and I turned it over the correct way, and continued on with the video. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Did I show you that I made a mistake? It didn't, I don't have a problem admitting a mistake. Well, I can see that you turned that board back over when you put the crossbeam on. Okay, so, I mean, these trolls are amazing. I don't see how they see some of the things they do. It had nothing to do with me lying to you. It had to do with how much room I had on my camera card, how much battery life I had, and do I really want to waste your time with showing you that I made a mistake and turned it over? I mean, what was the big deal? I turned it over. It's still on there just like it was. I didn't change the design in the middle of the video and make you feel like... So, I mean, the trolls just want you to really feel bad about everything that you do. The thing they don't like is this worked. That's their biggest beef. They hated it. That's why they came out in droves last night, or that, well, when the video came out for you. For me, it was last night. They came out in droves because they knew this wasn't going to work. They absolutely knew it. There's no way that's going to work. And it worked. So, how can a narcissist deal with telling you that you're stupid, that's not going to work, and then the stupid guy shows you that it's going to work? Well, that can't be. He's too stupid to make that work. So they just attacked and tried to find everything they could. You know, you're using your drill as a hammer. Haha, I know, because I did it. You're going to break that drill. Well, I didn't. Oh, you need a new saw blade. That was one. You need a new saw blade. Why do I need a new saw blade? I explained in the video that my inverter didn't have enough power to turn it, so I kept shutting it off. You know, it kept tripping on overpower. The blade, there's nothing wrong with the blade. Blade was fine. But why would I get a new saw blade for 5 little cuts? I told them to spend their own money. You know, society is so messed up. I guess that's why I live off grid. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video on my other channel. I really appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you, don't listen to anybody. Do it the way you want. So you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.